They actually did it. They actually brought in Jameis Winston over Joe Flacco to be the backup quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And it's got the fan base in a bit of a tizzy. And I had the clip yesterday about the backup quarterback and why we're arguing about that instead of the starting quarterback and all those things. But they go with Jameis Winston. And I know there's a lot of fans that are bothered by this. And I think it's relative of saying, yes, this is the backup quarterback role. But this is also something that the fans really wanted. And I'm not saying the fans should be in the war room making draft picks and things like that, but this was not a popular move, I believe, for the Cleveland Browns. That being said, was it the right move to bring in Jameis Winston over Joe Flacco? I think there's a lot that can kind of go into that conversation. I've got an area that I want to take it this morning with Joe Flacco that, frankly, Ryan, I've not seen this anywhere in relation to why some people are upset about Flacco. So I want to get to that coming up. We got the Cavs back in action tonight. Shock, 6.5. We are on the road. You're supposed to maybe be getting Donovan Mitchell back. Injuries aplenty. We got our Typico boost. We'll get to that coming up. Another day of the Immaculate Grid. Time up. We'll get to our bracket. They're all going today. We got shelved yesterday with all the free agency news. We'll get back to the bracket today. We got it all for it right here on a Wednesday edition on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. Another busy day for the Cleveland Browns. Ryan, what was your reaction when you saw the news that it happened an hour after our show, if that? Well, yesterday they were going with Jameis Winston.
I wouldn't necessarily say I was surprised by any means. I was initially surprised once I saw the reports the night before that they were interested in Jameis Winston. That caught me. But once I saw that and you kind of processed what that really meant, and given that me and you have kind of talked before that news that we knew Joe Flacco, we weren't as great as he was.
We were not sold.
We weren't sold. That's
Other people were.
Use.
Other people were.
I was happy with it. That's what I would say. I was happy with it.
I kind of was expecting it, right? At that point, when you had heard as much as you had heard, I thought it was interesting how it came out that Jameis picked the Browns, because obviously he had other options, and he picks the Browns, and he comes up here.
I mean, how could anybody not like Jameis? I mean, there's a couple reasons, I guess.
There's a few reasons why people don't like Jameis Winston.
Let me rephrase that. How could people not just find him silly?
Yes, there's some off the field stuff, yes, and I'm not just talking about the crab leg stuff. There's other things with Jameis Winston.
There's other stuff that wasn't funny, but crab legs was funny.
Right, that was funny. And it comes back to, again, the backup quarterback role. And we'll get into the reports that they didn't want the distraction for Deshaun Watson, and things that happen with Flacco. I had somebody tell me that happened in the meeting when Dorsey and Stefanski went out there.
Well, then a lot of people think, and I don't know.
None
of us will know, but a lot of people do think that Deshaun had a lot of influence on that.
I'm sure. And whether that's right or wrong, and people just say, sack up and deal with it. The Browns have no choice but to be all in on Deshaun Watson. So they are eliminating the distraction. They are eliminating any potential for that. That is the smart move that they made from a non-emotional standpoint. If you're all in with this quarterback and there's an option or a potential that there's any sort of drama, any sort of distraction to really deter you from the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal, yes, is to win and win a Super Bowl. But aside of that, for this season, the ultimate goal is to find out what Deshaun Watson is and if he actually is the future of the Cleveland Browns. Ryan, it's almost on the same level as winning. And those take care of one another. If we're winning and he's playing well, then he's your answer. You have got to find that out this year. So with that being the ultimate goal, if you had something like this, that even for a second you thought would be an issue, they snuffed it out. And that's why Joe Flacco isn't here, in part of several reasons. Is that a good answer? Maybe not to some, but it's the decision that they made. And I empower and I appreciate the Browns for at least making the decision, for saying we're going all in with this. This is what I want clipped. And I want to send this out because I haven't seen this anywhere brought up. And I think it's related to how some people feel about it. And this is what I'm going to say. With what Joe Flacco did for the Cleveland Browns last year, came in, willed you to the playoffs, had a great month of football. They now discarded him. That's unfair. That's not right. Think about the job that any of us have. When you go above and beyond, and frankly, you pulled your boss's ass out of the fire, they handed him a pink slip. They said, move on. That's not right. That's not fair. You expect a promotion. You expect some sort of bonus. And I know he made good money, but that's not fair. And I think that is something that people are grabbing onto. For everything Joe Flacco did, he should be rewarded for that. And he wasn't. I'm sorry to tell you, that's life. That's no different than, again, you're in my job. How many jobs have you had, or people, or maybe even you yourself, doing everything right, and they still say, sorry, don't have a spot for you. Sorry, we're still moving on here. Dude, I just pulled your ass out of the fire. I just took you to the playoffs, and you're telling me to beat it? Because what are we staring down the barrel now? Joe Flacco might not play football next year. He might end his career with that stretch. That's not right. Think about it. He came in and blew it out of the water. Way above expectations, way above his pay grade. Overachieved. And they still handed him a pink slip. It's unjust. I will tell you that. It's not right. It's unfair. That's the real world. That's the tough part, specifically about the NFL. That is a ruthless business. We all wanted the fairy tale ending. He was at least still here. But, Ryan, there were people that wanted Joe Flacco just to start. They saw what he did, and they wanted him to ride off into the sunset as the Browns' Super Bowl champion quarterback. That was never going to be a reality. That was never going to be a thing. So you feel unjust. You feel like this was wrong. That is another issue that I think some people are carrying with them. That this was, think about it. Take the names out of it, anything. You had somebody come in and save you. Save you. Got Kevin Stefanski the coach of the year. Great memories for us, the fans. And they still said, we'll get you a box for your stuff. Anything you want to take out of your locker, you can, but make sure you take it all. That sucks. That sucks. But it's what happened. And that's, again, sometime of the parallels of the NFL and the real world. You do everything right. You do above and beyond. And they still don't have the spot for you. They say, best of luck. You shake a hand and you're out the door. And that's what happened. Because I'm hoping so much that Joe Flacco gets a job somewhere. I don't know where. And it seems to be that those are going to be a hard job maybe to find at this point. I don't know. I think that might ease things a little bit. But could you imagine if he goes somewhere and then has to play and plays well? We need another thing I think we need to say to Browns fans, and I know that this is raw and this hurts right now. The sooner we can move on from this, probably the better. As soon as we can understand and accept that this is the move that made, it's probably better off. And it comes back to how you feel about Deshaun Watson. There are people that just don't like him. So this is a double-edged sword. You fell in love with Joe Flacco and you don't like Deshaun Watson. This hurts a lot worse than somebody that might be waiting to see what Watson does or even a Watson fan. It's a double-edged sword for a lot of fans out there. That's why they're carrying this so hard. My message has been, it's the backup. It's been the backup. I know you need somebody to come in there and play games if comes some injury, and I got a lot of tweets about how injured Deshaun Watson has been. Like, I haven't been watching. I understand that. I get it. You made the move for the backup quarterback that you felt like was the best fit for your team, the best fit for your quarterback. The Watson factor on that, it's a reality. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. You might not like that. You might say you better deal with it. It is a reality. And the Browns made that move in part because of Deshaun Watson. That's even more on him now. He better go out and play well. He better go out and put up months like Joe Flacco did. That pressure is there already. So I sympathize with people that are really taking this hard. And I'm not going to yell at you and tell you that you're wrong to do it. And I understand your reasons. He played well. You fell in love with him. It's unjust of what they did to him in a reality of a world of we would love to live in that world, right? We would love to live in that world that people got what they deserved. Joe Flacco deserved a contract. He deserved to keep playing. We don't live in that world. And sorry. That's unfortunate. It's all on Watson. He's got to play well. Jameis Winston's your backup. In a real world, Brian, we don't have to worry about it because I don't want to see Jameis Winston play. I don't want to see him on the field ever. Ever. I don't need to see him out there. I don't want to see him out there because it means Watson's out there for every snap of the season, which is what my goal is.
What did Frank Sinatra say? He said, "That's life, man."
That's life, man. Makes you think of the Joker.
I'm not gonna lose sleep over this. That's for sure. I'm not gonna shed a tear. I'm not gonna lose sleep.
I'm shedding a tear over the Batman being delayed a year.
I'll shed a tear over that. But
I'm shedding a tear over that.
I don't care, dude. Joe Flacco came here, had magical run. He got a paycheck of 7 digits. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it.
Well, that's our Twitter question this morning, Ryan. Post this at Matt Fontana Show. Here we go. How do you feel about the Browns going with Winston over Flacco? Here, I'll let you type that up. At Matt Fontana Show. Typing? He's a quick typer over there, folks. Right. What's your words per minute?
Probably, I don't know. I am a pretty fast typer.
I'm pretty good, too. I'm very upset. B, I'm indifferent. Or C, I'm okay with it. Those are your questions. Those are your answers. That's our question up at Matt Fontana Show. Again, how do you feel about the Browns going with Winston over Flacco? A, I'm very upset. B, I'm indifferent on it. Or C, I'm okay with it. You and I might be voting the same thing here. I don't know. I'm indifferent on it. I am. And I said, I tweeted about Winston saying I'd be okay. Or I said, I don't hate that. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily okay with it, but I'm indifferent on it. I look at it. I'll tell you the one thing I keep coming back to. Again, all that list, it's the backup. It's the backup. I don't really care. I don't. And I have a lot of people that try to tell me I should. And I look at guys like, here's where I think a backup quarterback is truly important. When you have a young guy and you need a mentor in that room. If you go to talk, I'm just going to bring up Baker because he's the most recent example. He was a first overall pick. They brought him in here. You had Tyrod Taylor, who was great in the role that he had. But go ask Baker about Drew Stanton. Drew Stanton was here. And Baker has made mentions over the years about the importance of a guy like Drew Stanton to be here and take Baker under his wing. And there are some other examples of where I think the Browns failed with some of their drafted quarterbacks of not bringing a guy in to say, this is strictly your mentor. And if you want to have a quarterback competition, that's fine. We know how messy that can get. But that is where I put the most importance on a backup quarterback is when you have a young guy that I go to God and say, we're going to pay you a backup quarterback salary. You're going to get $8-10 million. You get to ride the pine. Yeah, you need to be prepared. But another part of your job is to get this guy ready, to understand who this guy is, to have conversations. Because coaches can only go so far. And even if you have coaches that play in the NFL, Ryan, it's different when you have somebody that's in it, that has been a part of it, that is doing what you hope to do. So that is always my highest level of regard for a backup quarterback. You don't need that here. Deshaun Watson is a veteran player. He doesn't need that. So I even have a lesser importance of the backup quarterback. People are screaming at me right now. What if he needs to play? Sure. You need somebody that's capable to get in there and play. And there's an element that a lot of coaches will talk about of a backup that doesn't need the practice or game reps and be able to be thrown in there and play. I chalk this up to say, Ryan, if you lose your starting quarterback in a game, you're probably going to lose that game. You lose your starting quarterback for a good chunk of the season, you're probably losing that season. We got a misnomer on what Joe Flacco was able to do. So that's where I will fully admit I don't have the level of importance on a backup quarterback that other people do. My level of confidence or my level of importance on the starting quarterback, I need to get that figured out first.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care about all this nonsense that people are getting wrapped up.
I really am kind of there.
I've been saying this for for weeks now. You know how I feel on this. So I'm obviously voting C. I'm okay with it because exactly what you said. I don't care if Deshaun goes down. We're not doing anything on the season. That's just the reality of it. What we did last year was an anomaly with Joe Flacco. That doesn't happen very often, if at all. And what did it get us? At the end, we were a first-round exit getting blown out on the road to a rookie quarterback. That's not great, Matt. It was fun while it lasted with Flacco, but I don't care, and I don't feel bad for not bringing him back. Absolutely not. Cry me a river. He's 40 years old. The Browns made a logistical move that made sense for the franchise and did everything they could to make sure that they're in the best position, to make sure Deshaun's in the best position, and that was clearly not bringing Joe Flacco back because fans can't help their emotions get in the way of winning because they would be chanting, yes, go put Joe Flacco in the second Deshaun Watson throws an incomplete pass, not even a pick, and I don't want to hear that because it would just annoy me.
Well, the thing is, we also are at a place of our fandom and our franchise that we can't just focus on football. It's all these other things. I'd like to talk about Nyheim Hines. I think that's a great signing. What does that mean for Nick Chubb? We'll talk about that coming up. You bring back Shelby Harris. Great. I think the Browns what? Not a big Shelby Harris guy?
I don't know if I'd say great.
I'm fine with it.
I wanted DJ Reader really bad.
I did too, and I mean, at this point, we're staring down the barrel of the moves. That's about it. Like, I don't really, we went through yesterday. Daniel Hunter got his deal, all that. I think you're done for as far as the moves until the draft. And trust me, we'll still be all excited for the draft, and I'm ready to go for 54.
I'm still holding out hope for Jerome Baker.
I'd like Jerome Baker to come back. Sure, I'd love that.
I guess maybe if you draft, but
we got your Mike and you got your Will.
Yeah, but
you sign Hicks as your Mike, Jeremiah Wissacore as your Will. You want a Sam? They like Tony Fields. Tony Fields has ascended a little bit.
And who? Diabate?
Yeah, Mohamed Diabate's still here. I think they have to put a tender on him.
One of them goes down. It's kind of
I think. Yeah, and we saw a lot of linebackers go down, man. And again, it's a linebacker. I think the other thing about the D-line, to talk about that real quick, Jim Schwartz had to have seen something. And I'm assuming he would have loved to have had Christian Wilkins and Chris Jones available. That's what I'm saying. But the fact that you brought back a lot of these guys on a D-line that had the defensive player of the year, that had the number one defense, there is a little fear about just running it back. Because that could be as simple as saying, look at everything we did last year. You see the money that some of the top tier guys, we'll just run it back. It might work. I don't know. It might work, or it might not. It might blow up in your face. I have a lot of faith, though, that if Jim Schwartz gave the rubber stamp to say, these guys fit what I do and I'd like them here and they still got good football left, and you can save yourself a little bit of money, that's a win-win. So I have faith in the move that they made there with Shelby Harris. Let's talk about Hines for a second. So he comes in, and there was scuttlebutt about Zach Moss and everything else, and of course, Derrick Henry's going to the Ravens.
Whatever, man.
I know. I don't know how much he has left in that tank, but we'll have to see. Hines is an interesting one, though, because a lot of people, rightly so on PFF, brought up, this guy's a pass catcher.
Yeah.
He can do it out of the backfield.
Yeah.
So if you talk about a true third down back, while Nick Chubb is getting healthy, you have Jerome Ford probably to carry most of the bulk of the carries, and you brought in Hines who can just go ahead and be out of the backfield. That move doesn't really change anything from where I'm at with Nick Chubb. I was waiting to see if they were going to really invest in, which is funny with a running back, I know, but if they were going to invest even more in that position, that might signify the true, we're moving on from Nick Chubb, or this really is the last year. And I believe Andrew Berry when he says that Nick Chubb's going to play this season. My biggest fear is that this will be the last season. I don't want to see that. I've said that. I don't want to see that. I want an extension. I want to get that cap number down, and I'd like Nick Chubb to be here for another 3 years. That move with Hines, I don't think it sways the needle in either way. This was a move that was needed. It was a position of need. You bring him in, and I don't think he surplants anything. And there's going to be a point in the season where all three of those guys are still on the active roster doing things. So that was a solid move yesterday. Really, that was it? Winston, Harris, and Hines yesterday, right? Am I missing anything else?
They signed the tackle back up from the Bengals.
Oh, I did see that. I did see that.
I'm not gonna be able to pronounce his
name.
name.
No, I know. It was a tough one.
But they got Hines for dirt cheap. And like you said, he's been in Indy, he's been in Buffalo, he's been around. I mean, he had that broken leg, I think it was last year, that ended his season really early with that. I think it was a jet ski accident. But yeah, I mean, he is a pass catcher. He's been a pass catcher his whole life. And I guess that's kind of what you needed there. I would still like to, let's assume, Nick, I'm assuming you're assuming Nick Chubb goes on the PUP.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play the first.
So that's at least 4 weeks,
yeah,
right?
Right.
I wouldn't mind seeing them bring in somebody. Like, there's still decent names out there. Kind of the Kareem Hunt role gets you a couple yards. I don't know how much I really trust Jerome Ford to do that.
You can go sign some. You can get somebody in the draft, too.
Yeah,
don't forget about that.
You could sign somebody even cheaper than you got Hines, like Damian Harris a year. I don't know. Something like that. But, I mean, yeah, I guess it is a good sign for Nick Chubb, though.
Yeah, it is. And that's where the moves the Browns have made at this point are just kind of shoring up some things as well. Other moves, Jordan Elliott leaves. He goes to the 49ers. That's fine. It was funny. I clicked on NFL.com this morning. I was going through all the departures of all the teams. Ryan, did you know that of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, about 15 free agents, only 4 of them have signed with a team. Jordan Elliott goes to the 49ers, Taki to the Patriots, Walker to the Dolphins, and then Mike Ford got to deal with the Texans.
Oh, yeah, the league opens up today, doesn't it?
3 o'clock this afternoon. Yeah.
Oh, so how can they already sign that?
It's like all this stuff, the legal tampering period. Like they have a deal in place. Everything becomes official today.
Right.
So up until now, anybody can be like, well, wait a minute.
Oh, well, then what did you just tell me?
That only 4 guys have left. Of the Browns' 15 free agents.
Oh, of the Browns.
Yeah.
My bad,
No, I'm sorry. Of the Browns players. Oh, no, you were thinking like these. No, I'm talking about what does that say that of 15 of our guys, only 4 of them have found a job at this point. Can I bring up Corey Bojorquez real quick?
Oh, yes, sir.
He's a free agent still. He was on this list.
This morning.
Oh, it happened?
2-year deal, baby. I tweeted about it.
I didn't see that.
I was like, LFG.
Bojorquez!
I said the field flipper's back,
The human howitzer. The human leg howitzer.
It was like 6:30. I got that Mary Kay Cabot tweet. I was like, yes.
No, I didn't see that this morning. Hell yeah. Let's go, Bojorquez.
2-year deal, baby.
Yeah.
I was so hyped when I saw
that. All right, now we're done.
I said best move. I said that was the best move so far.
No, I didn't see that this morning. Let's go. Now we're done. All right. Bojorquez back.
I was so hyped, Matt.
Let's go. All right, then they're good.
I have to get a Bojorquez jersey.
Do you really?
2 more years, though.
What number is he? Is he 13?
2 more years. I feel like I should. He was my header for a while. Him and Dustin Hopkins.
He is 13.
I'm a big special teams guy. I appreciate all that goes into special teams.
Charlie Hewlett jersey?
I don't have one. That's really the veteran. That's the one.
Yeah, that's the guy. He's captain. Team representative to the PA.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
You should go Charlie Hewlett.
You're absolutely right.
So I interviewed Charlie Hewlett one time.
Good guy.
Great guy. Awesome guy. Love Charlie. And it's funny to see because I also got to work the sideline for a game last year. So I don't know why I kept watching Hewlett just to see what he was doing. And he just snaps. He goes over to his bag. He sits there for a minute. And he snaps some more, runs out on the field, runs back on. But I interviewed him years ago. And I was like, how often do you snap? And he goes, every day. And I go, seriously? He goes, I have a tree in my backyard. And all I do is snap footballs at this tree in my backyard. He goes, of 365 days a year, he's probably like, there's probably maybe 2 weeks out of the whole year that I don't snap, like intermittently all around. He goes, every day. And he goes, is it muscle memory at this point? He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, but there's some technique, and if I know that I'm off for a little bit on this, he goes, I'll redo it. Do you ever get bored doing it? And he goes, oh, yeah. He goes, but then I think about my paycheck, and I was like, this is what I do. This is my job. And
I'll do it every day.
That's right. Money. And he goes, I asked him about the yips, because we saw Ryan Pompery on. And he goes, the thing is, you do have to make the corrections. He goes, he thinks where the yips kind of came in was, if you know something is off and you don't change it, then it becomes a bigger problem. He goes, I watch video. He goes, I watch a lot of film on my snapping. And I was like, man, you never think just snapping a football? He goes, nah, man. Charlie's the man. I love Charlie Hewlett. He's a good dude. Good dude. Great snapper. Great job. He's signed up. He's good to go for a couple. I did not see the Bojorquez news. So literally, that's it. We're done. And again, seeing the list of free agents that are out there, seeing some of these potential trades that are happening, I got to think you're pretty good. You're done. There's nothing else to do. Outside, again, I think the trade is the last thing coming, and I don't really see that with the Browns, so you're good. Your free agency is done. You get ready for the draft now. Do you think the Browns are that much better? Like, I hate doing this.
Like, just via free agency?
Like, yeah, the great...
No.
Sports talking. Grade the draft. Grade the free agency. Do it now. I thought it was solid. They did exactly the Judy trade is number one. That was great and fine. People are up in arms about Winston. Okay, fine, whatever. I thought they were solid. I think they executed what they needed to for free agency. Kind of wait to see what else shakes out. The other thing, I still feel like this league is a little held up waiting for what's going to happen with Justin Fields. He's the talk of every town. And yes, I will read into that Jameis Winston has pretty much all but sunk my hopes of the Browns trading for Justin Fields because I really wanted them to do that. Waiting for what's going to happen with Justin Fields. He's the talk of... That was me.
That was you.
10 seconds ago.
My bad.
That was me 10 seconds ago. It's all right. We're just getting double me. That's never a bad thing here on the show. I feel like for Fields, it's the story because, you know, it is everybody wants to know where he's going, what's going to happen. All those reports are happening. But I do feel like it's weird that the league year opens this year and we're done. We're good. Got all our moves. Like, what's left for the NFL except this Justin Fields trade? And
it is strange.
It's getting strange. It's getting a little weird.
I just can't fathom that GMs value like Sam Darnold over Justin Fields.
That's what they said.
Like, how do you not?
That's supposedly what they said.
And not visualize the ceiling unless you just really value maybe a floor that Darnold brings. But I don't know.
I think it's people have this idea of what he is, and they don't think it's very good. And I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah, I can't.
The Browns are done with it. Like, it's over. I get it, and I'm sad to say that because I would have loved him here. But it's telling you something around the league.
I saw some smoke to the Eagles. That's clearly, obviously, a backup, but...
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's in a backup type role right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what else it would be. Yeah, it's interesting. He's away from Pittsburgh. He's not, you know, it's like that was my biggest thing. If he wasn't going to come here, I didn't want to go to Pittsburgh, so we'll have to see how it plays out. You're down on Derrick Henry. You don't think he's going to mean anything there for the Ravens.
I don't.
Everybody's like, "Oh my god!"
Well, that's why I said
did you see what Coach Prime tweeted?
No.
He said that there's this borderline illegal of what they just did of putting Derrick Henry next to Lamar because nobody's going to be able to stop them.
And I'm not here to say.
Prime.
I'm not here to just
All
say.
right, Prime.
I'm not here to say that doesn't make their running game better. I'm just saying, first of all, their running game wasn't bad last year at all. Gus Edwards and Justice Hill did a fine job. Keaton Mitchell was good until he had the injury.
Keaton Mitchell kid.
That's what I'm saying. So let's not pretend like the running game was bad and there was a reason why they failed to get to the Super Bowl.
Is J.K. Dobbins still out there?
Yeah, he is. Like, that wasn't the reason that they failed. Was because they didn't have a running game. They did. Yes, Derrick Henry, in face value, probably better, obviously, than like Gus Edwards and Justice Hill is.
Well, yeah, that's where they're at.
The dude's what? How old is he? 30 now?
Yeah, close, or will be when the season starts.
30. I mean, the amount of carries he has on his legs in his career is insane. I'm not just going to predict that he's going to go back to what he was 2-3 years ago. Like, I don't think that's fair. We've never really seen that before. Like, I'm not necessarily going to say this is going to make them unstoppable on the ground. Like, yeah, Lamar. Everybody's talking about the play or the whatever it is. Why can't I think of the word right now?
I don't know which word you're thinking of. Did we talk through it?
The option.
Yeah.
RPO.
RPO.
I couldn't pick it up for some reason.
I
mean, everybody's talking about that. Like, yeah, obviously, when you have Lamar, like, you can do that with a really good running back, but you can do it with anybody. Like, I just think people are way overreacting. I saw a tweet. Somebody was like, "This is Dalvin Cook 2.0 to the Jets." I was like, "Not that. I'm not ready to go that far, but not a bad."
Well, they were getting rid of Dalvin Cook when everything blew up there. I don't know what to believe you. You want to run over to ESPN? So I mentioned about how good you think the Browns did this offseason. Mike Clay is going to tell us. So he ranked all 32 teams after the first couple days of legal tampering for the best. This is the most improved teams. Would you like to guess on the number one most improved team in the offseason?
Yeah, I'll say Philadelphia.
No.
Okay, then I will say the Texans.
The Texans are correct. Danielle Hunter, Mixon, Jeff Okudah, re-signed Dalton Schultz, a couple other guys. Number two, Jacksonville, Gabe Davis and crew. Mac Jones really put that over the list there.
Who's in crew?
So key additions, Darnell Savage, pretty good safety. Mitch Morstead, center, they signed away from the Bills. Gabe Davis, Ronald Darby, Devin Duvernay, and Mac Jones. And then they re-signed Josh Allen and Ezra Cleveland, their guard. Third most improved team for Mike Clay, the Washington Commanders. Atlanta was 4, basically just on Cousins and Darnell Mooney. That kind of tells you where this list is at. Those are his... Oh, wait, I thought he did all 32. Oh, no, he just did the 4. Sorry. I thought he went through all 4. Those are his top 4 most improved. I apologize. I thought it was all 32 when I clicked on it. So the Browns, again, I think when that tells you those are the moves, it's kind of been a down free agency, don't you think? I feel like we've had a little more drama in years past. But those are, according to Mike Clay, his best team so far. All right, let's catch our first break of the morning. When we come back, we'll get into some Cavs. We're going to get our typical boost rolling for tonight. They're in New Orleans, take on the Pelicans. We'll see how it goes with Donovan Mitchell. Darius Garland tonight. We'll get all that. We've got more Browns. I do want to continue to update our Twitter question this morning at Matt Fontana Show. How do you feel about the Browns going with Jameis Winston over Joe Flacco? I'm very upset, I'm indifferent, or I'm okay with it. I'm a little shocked, Ryan,
people
to
coming to their
see
senses.
the results on our poll this morning. So we'll get to that. We got Cavs coming up. Got a lot in hour two. We might even get to this coming up. Albert Breer was spitting some knowledge this morning about what Nick Saban had to say. Saban caught a lot of flack because he was he not in like some Congress? He was sitting next to Ted Cruz talking about NIL.
I didn't see this.
Oh, yeah. I can't not laugh when I see Ted Cruz. I don't know why. There's something about him.
Did you see people call him, they think he's a Zodiac killer?
Where was he those days? I mean, can we find out? Hey, regardless, Saban got into some hot water relative when he started talking about NIL and the transfer portal and how he was saying that he thought it was bad. And people ripped him. You made millions of dollars and all this other kind of stuff. I think Albert Breer made some really great points this morning on Twitter when it came to what Saban is actually talking about with his transfer portal with the NIL. I want to run through that. Let's do that when we return as well. So we got a lot for you this morning. We'll get to the grid. We'll get to our bracket. We need, 2 more to go, Ryan, for Southside, Brook Park, Strongsville, Medina, Brunswick, anywhere around there. We've missed anybody in Middleburg Heights. Good bar in Middleburg Heights. Did we put Nico's in there? You put Nico's, North Royalton, great gyros. Nikos.
No.
Throw those on in. Put them in there. Best bracket for Southside Bar. All of those are going to go today on our social at Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a follow there. Drop us a follow, if you will, with Tipico, folks. Follow us along on our boost. We submitted a savory Cavs boost for this morning. Get signed up with that code Fontana100. You're out of bets. You're out of money. You're on your bankroll. Use it up on all those other sites, right? Why don't you come over to Tipico? Download the app. Use the code Fontana100. When you deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want, you will then get $100 in bonus bets. And that $25 bet, it could be on the biggest favorite that you could find. It could be the biggest one, but you're going to cash that $100 in the bonus bets. Get geared up for the NCAA tournament coming up, which we have some great content coming with Tipico related to the tournament, so get geared up for that. But Tipico is where you got the imperfect parlay. Could you imagine the amount of boosts that we're going to get for the tournament? Yeah. It's going to be insane. It's going to be nuts.
I think we got like 10 tickets punched already.
Yeah, well, the tournaments are this weekend. Selection Sunday. Like, funny, I'm doing ESPN on Sunday, and I've already been getting blown up. They're like, we got to do all these interviews. Get ready. Selection Sunday. Get geared up for it with Tipico, folks. Use that code Fontana100 when you sign up. We'll get our Cavs boost going for tonight. We got a lot coming up. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. tell you what, I want to get right to this Albert Breer stuff because I found this super interesting this morning. Welcome back. Matt Fontana Show right here on Big Play. We got our Cavs boost coming up with Typical. Talk a little wine and gold. Our Twitter question is up at Matt Fontana Show. How do you feel about the Browns going with Jameis Winston over Joe Flacco? You're very upset, indifferent, or you're okay with it. We'll get to all that in just a second. So we start with Nick Saban. So Saban, we're able to, I swear he was in what looked to be some sort of, Congress room. I don't know what to call it. I know nothing of politics, whatever. He was, okay, this is what it is. He was invited to speak at a roundtable discussion with a handful of U.S. senators on Capitol Hill yesterday. And he spoke about the current landscape of college athletics and contributing to his decision to retire after last season. So he was sitting next to Ted Cruz. You know, there's always politics with that. And he said, quote, all the things that I believed in and for 50 years of coaching no longer exist in college athletics. It was about developing players. It was about helping people be more successful in life. That's the reason I always liked college athletics more than the NFL, because you have the opportunity to help develop young people. I want their quality of life to be good, said Saban. I think I said it before. The name, image, and likeness is a great opportunity for them to create a brand for themselves. I'm not against that at all. But to come up with some type of system that can still help the development of young people, I think is paramount to the future of college athletics. So that's what Nick Saban said on Capitol Hill yesterday. Now, people jump on that and they go, oh, you old stick in the mud and you were making tens of millions of dollars off of these kids and, you know, taking it to a place that I don't think Saban is taking it. They want to take it there because they want to make him out to be some villain, that he was sitting there money grubbing and making all this money and all that. Albert Breer, I think, succinctly put it this way this morning. And I want to read some of the tweets from Breer this morning. And he said, what I think Saban is getting at is kids going to 3 or 4 different schools, not getting developed properly, not getting degrees, or getting plugged into professional networks for life after football is not worth a couple $100,000. The real loser in that equation can be the players. Breer, I don't think many people are left that don't think college players shouldn't be paid. And coaches who have become incredibly wealthy off the system might not be the right messengers. But in reality, the system as it is now is not good for the players long-term on or off the field. And he continued on to a couple other things, but the final thing is, to me, what's really sad is a guy that is left at 25 years old with nowhere to go. They can use college to set themselves up for life while making some money while playing, but the system is now discouraging them from doing it. The big picture on this is they've set up a system where everybody thinks that they should play. And guys leave a school because they think coaches have it out for them. And I'm not going to play here, so I'm just going to go transfer somewhere else. In reality, not everybody is meant to be a Division I starter. Not everybody is meant to go to the NFL. And what they are passing up on is a free education, opportunity to make some money with NIL, but as Breer said, a chance to think about life beyond football. And I will tell you this. I played D3 football, which is basically glorified high school at some point, for a couple of years. And I can tell you that there were guys that I played with, their only focus in life was football. For Division III, it wasn't school. It wasn't about getting an internship. It wasn't thinking about what jobs can I apply to. Oh, well, I'll graduate with a degree. Yeah, with a 2.2 GPA. They check that kind of stuff. Not in broadcasting. But in other jobs, they're going to check that GPA. And they become so solely focused on what they identify as. Their whole life has been football. And I can only imagine that that's even more ramped up on a Division I level, where that is a big part of what you do. But now, with this transfer portal thing, they continue to keep chasing a dream that maybe is not a reality. And I'm sitting here, I could never have played on that level, ever could have played on that level. And there are people that are backups at Ohio State. I'll even talk about Kent and Akron and Toledo. There are guys on that team as just a backup that are better football players than I ever was. But football's not going to pay the ticket anymore. And you can, I'm not saying don't play. Sure, that's a great honor to be able to play and you get a free education. But you better be focused on the education. It's not leaving that school because you couldn't start and I'm going to go to this other school, chasing the ultimate dream of trying to make it to the NFL. And that's truly your dream, great. You know, and you go play in the Canadian League, go play in the UFL, whatever you want to do, that's fine. But Breer's so right that they have set up a system for the easy way out. The easy way out is, I'll make a couple $100,000 and I'll just keep transferring schools till I find the right fit. Maybe you just need to stay somewhere. And the other thing, Ryan, even in high school, what was part of some of that? Waiting for a guy to graduate so you could have that job. And how great it is once you finally got to that job. Yeah, it took you till you were a junior, maybe. You had to wait around your freshman and sophomore year because there were guys or women, if whatever sport you played, that were ahead of you, and you needed to wait for them to graduate. There was some honor in that because now then you were the senior. You were the senior player at that position. You waited your turn. Would you want some snot-nosed freshman coming in taking your job? Be like, no, man, I waited. I took the time to get this shot, and I got better. I worked out. I worked on my technique to take this job over. That's life. What do? Going to leave a job because you didn't get what you wanted? It's capitalism. Sure, you can leave whatever job you want. You can go find something else. It's the easy cop-out way that I don't like very much with this. I'm all for players getting paid. I don't really care. The transfer stuff is what just makes my blood boil. And it's just on a level of, dude, you're leaving because you can't beat that guy out? Or you're leaving because you don't want to wait for your spot? But Breer bringing up so many great points about life. That these people, these young people that are just so consumed by the sport that they play can't realize you need your degree. You better be getting that internship. You better be at networking events. You better polish up that resume. And I'll tell you this, somebody said this to me years ago, and it's always stuck with me. Ryan, do you know one of the most powerful things that you could put on a resume in Columbus, Ohio? Ohio State Buckeye. And not even that you just graduated from Ohio State. If you played a sport at Ohio State, use that. Let it take you places. But these people, and again, they're young, dude. They're not, 20, 21 years old, trying to get this figured out. I just thought those were some really great points this morning I wanted to bring up. Because I think they're nailing it on the head. They need to change transfer. And I've said this, and I'll bail out Mark Emmert. I don't even know if he's still there anymore. I'll bail the NCAA out. Ryan, you've known my plan, and here's the plan again. NIL aside, I'm talking about the transfer portal. This is what you get. From your graduating year of high school, you have 5 years to use up 4 years of eligibility. So if you're graduating in the year 2024, you're done with college by 2029. You get injured, okay, that uses up a year. You redshirt, that uses up a year. What happens if I get hurt or what happens if I redshirt, then I get hurt? Sorry, you only get to play for 3 years then. I don't know what else to tell you. You get one-time transfer. Other than that, you got to sit out a year. And there is no more graduate transfers. Because I know why they did that. I guess you don't want to know what? You want to keep graduate transfers? That's fine. But the 5-year rule stands. No more DJ Ungaleles. No more. You get 5 years to play your college volleyball, your college cross country, whatever. And if bad luck crops up with injuries, I'm sorry. Because the other thing, they're not making room for the next wave. That's the other thing. They're so focused on people that are in the college game right now. What about the freshmen and sophomores in high school now that eventually will ascend and they get to a school and they go, man, I'm ready to go. Oh, hey, we got a 7th-year senior hanging around here.
It's like Matthew McConaughey from Days of Confused.
David Wooderson. Just hanging out with the high school kids. They got high school kids showing up to run track, and they go, yeah, you're not going to be our starter here because we got a 7th-year senior. He's 26 years old hanging around here.
His wife and kids are in attendance.
Yeah, they're going to watch. You can't take him out of here. We have a new transfer. His name is Joe Flacco. Joe, welcome to the team. That was mean. Joe's not that old. But you get what I'm saying? Like, they need to do. I just thought those were such great points this morning, and it's focused on college football, but it's really all college athletics. Sometimes you got to go, man. Your time is up. You had your opportunity, whether it went good, went bad, I don't know. And there are always going to be the elite guys that go for 3 years and they're gone. Marvin Harrison was never going to be at Ohio State 3 years after he got there. That was it. It moved on. The Bosas, you knew that the second the Bosa bro. That's why they didn't even bother redshirting them. There's no point. They're gone. They are out of here in 3 years because they're going to the NFL. There is a small elite group, and Breer brought this up too. Doing the job that he does, he brings up just how small, truly small, that percentage is of not just NFL guys that made enough money to never work again. That number is like, you can't even think about how small that is. Of guys that, sign $100 million deals, and they'll never have to work again. No, man. No. And there are guys that played 10 years, but they were on a couple $1 million deals, and they're working. They're doing something. And that's the thing. That's not crazy. It's not laborious. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they are in construction or things like that, but there's plenty of people. A lot of them get into media. A lot of them do this. A lot of them get into business. But you are now robbing these kids of this opportunity because they transferred all over them. How does that look on a resume? Where you sit down for a business, say you're going to be an accountant, and you sit down, they don't give a damn that you played football. And they look down and they go, well, wait a minute. You went to 4 different schools? Yeah, you graduated with an accounting degree, but you went to 4 different schools? Did all those credits transfer?
Yeah, I can't imagine if I went to 4 different schools, I can't imagine there's much curriculum that I would actually retain. Like, I might pass and get through it, but just that transference with... Dude, I can't imagine you attain much of that curriculum.
I'll tell you this. I had a buddy that he didn't change schools. All he did was change his major twice. It took him another 2 years to finish out. Yeah, and they were relatively close degrees.
I have a buddy that's the same thing right now. He still has another year and a half left.
Because he changed his major. Yeah. And that's, again, you want to change, you know where you're going, which I think is also crazy. There's a lot of people that have conversation. You're asking people that are 18 years old to make decisions that'll impact the rest of their lives. And I know plenty of people go back to school in their 30s or they have a career change in their 30s. I get it, all of it. But like, how does that look? And you sit there and go, dude, you went to 4 different schools. And if you said, I was trying to chase football or I was trying to play here or that, like, doesn't that say something to you about why aren't you just going to leave this job to go try to find something else? And I know people that their job, like I know people that have changed jobs a lot in their careers. And that's not always a bad thing. But I just thought it was really interesting, a lot of the stuff that Breer had to say this morning when it came to what Saban had to say, kind of bailing out Saban just a little bit. Because I think Saban, that's what he was getting to. The issue is that coming from him, it's always going to be, that message will never hit because he was one of the people getting rich and fat off these kids. But I think Saban is right. The development of players, to say you stuck it out means something. Seahawks signed Nick Harris, 1 year, $2.5 million deal for a former Browns center, who I thought was going to be the center of the future after J.C. Tretter. And they find Ethan Posick. So there goes Nick Harris. Retweet that. That would be the 5th Browns player, or 5th Browns free agent to have a new job. There it is. Nick Harris gone. Let's update our Twitter question this morning before we dive into some Cavs. Our question this morning, after the Browns have gone and gotten Jameis Winston over Joe Flacco, how do you feel about that? Ryan, the results, please.
Currently leading with 47% of the vote. They're okay with it.
Second, I'm a little shocked by that.
Second, indifferent, 36, and lastly, very upset, only 15.6%.
Browns fan 2021 says, I want to know the people that selected very upset. Or why they're very upset. I would think that there's an emotional attachment to Joe Flacco. That's why. Brian on Twitter, there's a reason Flacco hasn't signed with anybody. I mean,
he's not wrong.
Yeah, and like, I'm just going to say this. You can't call on him again. Like, think about if he was, say it played out again, right? Watson got hurt, Winston's not good, and DTR's not it, and Flacco is still out there. If I were him and they called, I'd say shove it up your rear end. Do you think Flacco's going to get a job? He'll get a job somewhere. I feel pretty I think he's going to get a job. I hope so.
Maybe Denver? I don't know.
I mean, I think what's going to happen is
Maybe after the draft.
I thought about that, but I think he'll get a job by the end of the week. I really do. There's got to be a backup job out there for him somewhere. That's all he's got now is a backup. That's fine. But where? I don't know. That's is it not unjust? Like for everything that he did, and you're looking at guys that were backups and they're still getting starting jobs and all that. I get it. It's unjust. It's unfair for Joe Flacco. That's a tough spot. I will tell you this too, as a human being, I feel terrible for Joe Flacco. I do.
Why?
He believed that he was going to be able to play another year. And that's sobering. And that's a slap in the face when that's not the reality. Now, the other side of it, he's 38 years old. He's got to realize that the end is near for his career and that this maybe was bonus time. But I'm sorry. I'm a sucker now that I'm a dad. The stuff about his kids.
They already watched
But
him.
they saw him, but to have the belief that they get to do that again. That they get to go, and not even necessarily maybe in Cleveland, but I'm sure that even his kids thought this is great. We get to go back to the games, and we get the jerseys again, and Dad's going to play.
I think they'll be all right.
And again, I know, and to break the news to him, and trust me, like Joe Flacco set himself up pretty well for everything. I feel bad for him. I do. I do. I felt like he wanted to keep playing.
He'll be all right.
I hope so.
He can go watch games with his son on the TV.
Here's the reruns of Dad. Here, all that kind of stuff.
Go put on his Super Bowl tape. They'll be all right.
Yeah, they'll be all right. They'll figure that out. All right, let's do this. I want to talk some talking Cavs, coming up for tonight. Is our boost up? I didn't check this morning. Sorry.
No, not yet.
Okay. Boop, 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 boom. You don't know? Wait, I'm sorry. I wasn't listening.
No, it's not up.
It's not up yet. All right, we'll get it up. I don't want to tell people what it is because if we got to change, we got to change. But anyway, we'll get to our boost coming up at Tipico. Cavs tonight down there in New Orleans, 6.5 is where we're at. This is tough. Do you know that the Pelicans are 7-3 against the Cavs in their last 10 games? New Orleans is 11-1 straight up in their last 12 games at home against the Cavs. Why do the Pelicans stick it to us all of a sudden? I'll get to some of those trends coming up. The big question is tonight, will we get Donovan Mitchell? What's up with Darius Garland? Is he even on the injury report?
I'm done trying to calculate.
Dean Wade out, Strus out, Evan Mobley out, Donovan Mitchell maybe, and I'm hoping that Garland can play tonight. I'm at this position now with the Cavs. We go back and forth on how we feel about them getting ready for the playoffs and gearing up and all that kind of stuff. I'm almost like I don't know what to expect on any of these games. I don't know what to expect for this game tonight. It's an 8:00 tip, it's a late game, all that.
You know where my head's at.
You're ready for the playoffs.
Yeah,
I get it. And watching
these past
couple weeks have felt so long with the Cavs. It's just felt like a grind, and not in a good way. And I think it's part of the schedule. They got to get through this little stretch here, and then maybe they'll start to get some rest and all that kind of stuff. We're going to take the Cavs in the points tonight, all right? Like, I don't really necessarily feel... If Mitchell plays, we're good. If Mitchell plays, I feel good about the Cavs plus 6.5. But we'll get to our Tipico boost coming up in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. I can't wait to see what they boosted up to. We'll get to that. All right, what do we got tonight? Bonus time. Bruce Drennan tonight, correct? Yeah. So we got Drennan. We got that clip from Come Get Some making some rounds. You want to play that an hour or two? I'd like to hear that. So Greg Williams, of course, Greg and Blake, Come Get Some on Mondays. Ryan with a little bit of look. We'll get to that. But last night, Enter the Jungle, James Rapine and crew. Tonight, bonus time. Tomorrow, we got the Big Play Cincinnati show, our newest show here on Big Play. We got it all for you, folks. Follow us on Twitter. Easiest place to do is at Big Play. Then on YouTube, Big Play. Also on Instagram, all the clips, all the reels, and all the shows right where you need it with our friends here. Well, not friends. We are the Big Play. We're the family. We are growing here. Really appreciate all your support with our great friends across the board. All right, let's get it breaking. When we come back, we'll get to the morning update. We got the Immaculate Grid as well. Stay with us. All right, let's get to it. The morning update. All stories you got to know. We got to finish it out with a little clip from one Greg Blake Williams on Come Get Some. Quite the rounds that clip be making there, but we'll get to that coming up as well. Ryan's got the stories. Wednesday edition. Mr. Topic.
Alrighty, well, the Cavs are back in action tonight as they take on the Timberwolves. They take on the Pelicans.
Hopefully we beat them. Yeah, all right, let's go now.
The problem is, I feel like this is the theme for the last 2 weeks. I don't know who the hell's playing.
Okay, so let's run through it. You got no Strus. You got no Mobley. You have no Dean Wade. Those are the three. And I never thought I'd be in a world where I'm upset that Dean Wade might not be playing, but I think he could help the other night. So now you're at, it seems like Mitchell will be back. It seems like Darius Garland is okay. LeVert, Niang, Merrill, Craig Porter Jr., who might be a superhero. He just shows up when you need him to and gets you some buckets. And Jared Allen, most important part. The question is, do we have enough to then take down the New Orleans Pelicans? Let's run through this. So here are your trends for tonight. New Orleans is scorching hot right now. 4-1-1 against the spread their last 6 games, 5-1 their last 6 games straight up, and 4-2 straight up in their last 6 games at home. And I mentioned this one earlier. The Pelicans own the Cavs at the Smoothie King Arena, or whatever the hell that it's called. New Orleans is 11-1 straight up in their last 12 games at home against the Cavs. For the Cavs, they are just 4-10 straight up. 4-10 against the spread their last 14 games. 2-4 straight up in their last 6. They're only 6-12 against the spread their last 18 games against New Orleans, and overall against the Pelicans, only 3-8 straight up against New Orleans. So again, this all leans New Orleans win, New Orleans cover, but we're not going to do that for our boost coming up here with the Cavs. You talk about the Pelicans, I kind of question, so they're on a 4-game win streak, but they beat Atlanta, Philly, Toronto, and Indiana. Like, those aren't the cream of the crop teams. They did beat the Knicks a little while ago. Dude, they've been on easy street, man. Easy street. Huh. Anyway, I hope the Cavs cover tonight. Donovan, I assume he'll be on a minutes restriction too, right? It's not like you can just throw him back in there after he's missed 6 games. So he'll probably be on a minutes restriction. I'm going to watch Darius Garland's ankle. Ryan, the problem with these games is I just throw my hands up and I go, I don't know, just don't get hurt anymore.
Exactly. Can you tell me, Matt, the one Cavalier who's played in all 65 games thus far?
Okay, well, I'll tell you who it's not. It's not been Karis LeVert. He's missed time. It's not been Jared Allen. He's missed time. Is it George Niang? Is it George Niang? It is George Niang. There you go. That's why I brought him here. Toughness, grit. You get Tristan Thompson back in a couple of days.
Yeah, thankfully.
Maybe need him. That's what we need. Let's get it done tonight, Cavs. Anyway. We'll tell you about our boost coming up in a little bit.
All right, well, Cavaliers, the Browns, obviously, yesterday, a little bit of surprise for some. They decided not to go with Joe Flacco as the backup for Deshaun Watson, but instead bring in famous Jameis Winston. Other moves include bringing back Shelby Harris, so the D-line is running it back. They lose, obviously, just a little bit ago. Nick Harris moves on. Who else? I'm trying to think here.
They re-signed Michael Dunn.
You
mentioned that. And really, outside of guys leaving, it's been it. It's only been a couple of guys.
The tackle from the Bengals who I refuse to try and pronounce the name.
Yeah, we'll get to know him when he gets here. I look at it this way. Browns off-season thus far, thumbs up. I only do pass-fail. Those are my favorite college courses, pass-fail. It's been a pass thus far. Judy was your big move. You supplemented some other positions that you needed. Hines, I think, is a great signing to fill in on that third down back. Some tackle depth. I could maybe use another wide receiver, but I just assume you're going to hit one in the draft now, too. Because let's not forget, at 54, you should be drafting a impactful guy. Think about second-round picks recently for the Browns. Nick Chubb, almost right away. Jeremiah Usu-Koramoah, almost right away. Those guys should be starters. Grant Delpit, outside, I know he tore his Achilles, but when he came off of that, back in and ready to go. You should be drafting a starter there. That's where you mentioned linebacker earlier. Maybe a guy like Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is still there. I don't know. Wide receiver, maybe. I put this poll out, I think on Monday. Would the signing of Judy stop you from drafting somebody at 54 of a wide receiver? And a lot of people said no. And I was kind of happy to see that. I'm all for it. Bring some more people in here. But overall, if you had the team that is on the roster right now to go out there, that should be a 10 to 12 win team. 12 maybe's put too much sauce on it. Sorry. That's a double-digit win team. That should be for everything. Health is important, but you got the same. Well, you got a brand new off. Wow. How much is that? I don't feel like we've talked about that at all. How much is this offense going to be new? Is this still Stefanski? Is this more Dorsey? I was about to say you got the same scheme, and I was talking more about Jim Schwartz, but then I stopped myself to say, well, wait a minute, that's not the case on offense. There could be some new things, good things, hopefully, but you got to integrate that. You got to get these guys up to speed. I don't know. It'll be a tough one to go. You got everything done. I think the Browns pass-fail. They give it a pass for me in free agency.
I would give it a pass as well, Matt. But let's talk about the rest of the AFC North here. We got a few more moves around that division. The Bengals get Geno Stone, former Ravens safety. He's going to Cincinnati. Leaving the Ravens, headed to Pittsburgh as linebacker Patrick Queen.
Whoa,
that was a great signing for Pittsburgh.
Of course it was. Of course it was. They breed linebackers there.
They do.
There's something, and I know he wasn't drafted there, but just doesn't it make sense that he made his way to Pittsburgh? Like, oh my God.
At least it was like he already was in the division.
Dude, I'm just like, Pittsburgh, come on now. What? I'm not sleeping on these guys.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I know you're not thinking Russ is going to do very much there, but bro, I'm not sleeping on the Steelers. I'm not. This division is setting up to what we always thought it was going to be. You should have 4 playoff teams out of this division. No bull crap.
I agree.
I know the one year you got, was it last year? You got 3.
Yep. No.
2 years. Last year, 3.
Pittsburgh made it. I forgot.
Right. And the Bengals were the one team that didn't.
And they almost did.
Like, this is the best division in football, hands down. And I think all the teams really got better.
Derrick Henry obviously goes to Baltimore as well.
Relative, yeah.
And lastly, I believe Deontay Johnson got sent to the Panthers to die.
Yeah, he always seemed to be a little bit of a malcontent. I know George Pickens probably more. I never got Deontay Johnson. I never thought he was that good.
He just had a little bit of a drop problem at one point, but he had good separation numbers.
I guess, like your slot guy. Watch Pittsburgh, man, for that first round going to get a receiver. You can put him with George Pickens there. They don't need anything on defense. They got guys at every position there on defense. Maybe offensive line. Probably get a little bit of help there for Russ. I ain't sleeping on the Steelers. I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it all off season. Once we get it, I'm not sleeping on the Steelers, man.
All righty, Matt. Well, let's end the morning update a little political, because why not?
Why? Why is he doing this? Like,
Robert Kennedy Jr. is apparently wants his vice president running mate to be none other than New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
Why? The politics in this world, and I know we've had actors, be presidents before. I get it. The thing about not being career politicians, and can he do that? Like, he will have to campaign all summer while rehabbing from an Achilles injury and then go out there and play for the New York Jets.
It's not going to happen.
Imagine if he's playing quarterback and they have to have Secret Service people on the sidelines for him. Think about that.
Okay,
would they let him do that?
You know how many roughing the passer calls?
Like, would you do? Think about that. You would have to have.
It's not going to happen.
You would have to have Secret Service people at these games to protect Vice President Aaron Rodgers. He's in the post game. Aaron, what'd you see on that throw there? The corner jumped the route and I misread it. Next question. What do you think about the political state of what's going on over there in Ukraine? Well, you're going to ask him about the geopolitics? You're going to ask him about the economy? One question will be about picking up blitz coverages, and the other one will be about the economy. Hey, what's your stance on the COVID vaccine? Oh, we already know that. Don't ask him that. He's a noted ayahuasca user. Is that okay? Does that get your vote?
I've never done ayahuasca, but...
keep it that way, Ryan.
Yeah.
Keep it that way. I don't know, whatever. But that's got to be for clicks, right?
No,
that's got to be.
And
I know they've ran polls that would say about if The Rock ran for president or things like that. It is a giant, not necessarily publicity because it is, but like You get people that get clicks, they get the likes, they get all that kind of stuff.
It's not ever like no. It's just it's all clicks, and then people use it as clickbait on social media and whatnot.
Aaron Rodgers loves that. Aaron Rodgers loves it because I don't think anybody is out there as much of an attention-seeking person as Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean,
and the thing is, when you have people that say that they're not attention-seeking people, then that tells you all you need to know about him. Like he loves doing that stuff. He loves riling the people up. Whatever, man. Do it your own. You want to vote for Aaron Rodgers? Is that a ticket? I don't want to ask. Don't answer that question.
What?
Kennedy and Rodgers, is that getting the vote of the people out there?
Man,
think about, dude.
Not my place.
I just need to say this. And this is for the right, for the left, and in between. You got two guys that are elderly trying to push for this, and then RFK and a quarterback to lead our country.
This is America.
You got two guys that are grandfathers age.
Great grandfather age.
Potentially. RFK and a quarterback for the future of our, for the future. Let's go.
Anyway, you want to hear Greg Williams talk about winning a Super Bowl in Cleveland?
That's a good transition there. Come get some Mondays here on the Big Play Network. So, of course, Greg Williams down in D.C. He's coaching the Defenders. He's coaching. And, of course, he does the show with Blake. He dropped a little bit on what he thought about Baker Mayfield and what they could have done here in Cleveland.
Baker Mayfield, G-Dub. Talk about that. I know you saw that.
I'm so happy. He's one of my all-time favorites. Mm-hmm. I believed with all my heart we could have won a championship with him had I stayed at Cleveland instead of heading out. And I'm so proud of how he has proven himself time after time after time, from high school to college to the NFL, and now within the NFL. Hey, come get some, Bake. I'm very happy for him.
No doubt. 3 years, $100 million, which really in this market nowadays, I mean, that's a really team-friendly deal.
So he would have won a championship with Baker here. I love Greg. I do. I'm a big fan of Greg Williams. And I'd be lying to you, Ryan, if there isn't a little part of me that thought, yeah, maybe. I famously said on my prior stop in a clip that I know they still have, I said you could have won a championship with Baker Mayfield. I said that because I felt like in the right system with the right players, he could do that. I do. Baker Mayfield is a playoff quarterback. He's now done it twice. If you're a playoff contending quarterback, I would have to believe that you are a semi-Super Bowl contender, right? If you make the playoffs, you're in the hunt. You're in the chase of this. I get it. I kind of agree with Greg. Now, the crap storm, Odell and everything. I mean, there's too many things. There's too many things that you sit there and you just wonder about. The mistake very clearly was moving on from Greg and going to Freddie Kitchen. What did everybody want? Greg is the head coach and Freddie is the OC. Couldn't have gone much worse than what we had in 2019. Really couldn't have. So I understand where Greg's coming from, but that's butterfly effect. That's if this happened, then this happened. If my aunt had this, she'd be my uncle. I get it. Like, it's any of that. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that there's a little semblance of truth to what Greg said. Just you know how it played out. You know how bad it went. And could have gone better. Should have gone better. About a championship, though, I know that's a high bar. That's a really high bar.
It's a pretty high bar.
Pretty high bar. But we appreciate Greg. Come get some on Mondays right here on the Big Play Network. All right, let's go. Here we go. Greg would be great at this game.
Oh, yeah.
Because all the players that he coached, he'd be all over this. He'd be great. In 2 seconds. All right, here we go. Immaculate grid. Going across. Going up and down. What's our final statistic down there, Ryan?
Super Bowl champ.
Oh, that's an easy one. All right, let's line this out. Here we go. 9 minutes on the clock for the Immaculate Grid. We got to get back on our game. Got to get back on our game here, Ryan.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, my God. I still have the timer going from yesterday. Forgot to do it. I'm almost at exactly 24 hours because that's when we did it yesterday. Yeah. Stop, reset. 9 minutes on the clock. Go. Ryan, here we go.
All right, Green Bay Packers Super Bowl champion. Well, let's not do Aaron Rodgers.
Because he's going to do Jets, Green Bay. Go throw him in there. Go ahead and throw him in there. Go ahead and throw your Devontae Adams right there for the Raiders and the Packers. Done and done there.
Super Bowl champ. All right, who's on that team? AJ Hawk?
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I think so.
When Rodgers won?
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
I believe so. Donald Driver comes to mind too, of who was on that. Now here's the thing: they could have guys on the team that won it somewhere else.
True.
Go AJ Hawk. I'm pretty sure I think they say it.
Bakhtari?
No, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there yet?
I don't think he was there. No, because he just said goodbye and said all he ever wanted to do was bring a championship there. Go AJ.
It had to be AJ.
Yeah,
right?
go AJ Hawk.
What if it wasn't?
It's got to be AJ Hawk. We're good. Yep. All right, good. All right, now we're on to the other ones. Jets, Seattle.
Should we knock the Super Bowl ones out?
Oh, yeah, if you want to do that. But we got to make sure we don't pick any players that are anywhere. All right, do Russ. And then Drew Brees didn't play any other one. So we're good to go. All right. Seattle and the Jets. Is it? Oh, Jamal Adams. Did they not regret that trade? Holy cow.
No kidding.
They just got rid of him. They just let him go. He's owed like 30-odd-some million dollars.
Raiders, Seahawks, Marshawn Lynch.
That's a great one. That is a great one right there. All right, we're cooking, man. That's a minute 30 in.
Yeah, no
Look
kidding.
at us. All right, Saints, Jets.
Dude, what's his face?
Literally, I feel like one just like rocketed into my brain, but then I lost it. You know what I'm doing? I'm confusing the Ohio State guys. I keep thinking Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave and Michael Thomas and all the Ohio State guys that they have down there. That's what I'm doing. Because Jets, Saints.
I just had one in my head. Jimmy Graham never played for the Jets. Right?
No. No. I don't think so. No. Saints, Raiders. Go ahead.
You got one?
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure there's an obvious.
This is the whole point of the Immaculate Grid. There's one staring you in the face, slapping you in the face.
Oh,
Saints,
Derek Carr.
Thank you. Derek Carr. There we go. That's the whole point of the grid. You sit there
an
and
easy one. Wow.
I know. We got plenty of time here.
All right, Saints, Jets.
Yeah, let's not take this for granted. Let's not screw this up right now. Oh man, I know that there's like
so many.
I know. I keep thinking skill position, wide receiver, running back for some reason. Oh my God. Okay, so where did we get DeMario Davis from?
I think the Saints.
No.
He went to the Saints.
I think we got him from the Jets.
I don't know.
I feel pretty confident that DeMario Davis is our answer.
We'll hold on to it.
I think the Browns got DeMario Davis from the Jets.
Are you 100% sure?
I feel pretty confident
on that.
Should
we just wait a minute to see if we can get one?
I mean, yeah, if you come up with something more ironclad, I'm all for it. But I feel pretty confident in Mario Davis. I think that's it. But let's try to think of something else. Kickers. My old guy, Thomas Morstead. I actually think he qualifies for this. I actually really do.
I don't know.
I think he does. Can I Google Thomas Morstead just to see and knowing?
We can't use him, right?
I know. We can't use him. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Right. He's the punter for the Jets right now. He's drafted by the Saints. I knew it. But I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good on DeMario Davis.
All right, man.
Let it rip. Let it rip.
I'm gonna be pissed.
Morstead, we should have just gone with that. That's fine. DeMario Davis. Let it rip. Yeah! Let's go!
All right. Any of them you want to see?
Yeah, click on one just to see so we can broaden our horizons here.
Okay.
They were all pretty easy today.
They were.
Today was an easy one.
I feel like
go Saints, Jets, just to see if there's anybody else. Well, we had two guys for that because we could have gone Morstead or DeMario Davis.
Trevor Siemian, I saw him, but I didn't.
We need to remember him for this because Siemian, that's a good one.
Wow, CJ Spiller, that's a blast.
Oh, yeah. He works for the Bills a little bit.
Ty Montgomery.
Okay, that's another good one.
Quan Alexander.
Really? Huh. Sneaky.
Not
Sneaky.
many other that I recognize.
Sneaky. All right, that's another one. Back in the books. Way to go there. The Immaculate Grid.
Yeah.
Another one coming tomorrow. Let's update our Twitter question again this morning at Matt Fontana Show. We're asking everybody, how upset are you, basically, about Winston? And I just want to look at it this way. The Browns made the smart football move. Don't be angry at them for that. Because you and I are the fans. You know, we're the media, I guess. I get so many people telling me that I'm a mouthpiece for the Cleveland Browns because I was on board with this. Do you want to send them some of the shows that I've done on this network telling you why I would not be a good mouthpiece for the Cleveland? I respect the Cleveland Browns. And yes, I do work for the Cleveland Browns from time to time, filling in on the radio network. It's not enough money, and I appreciate those opportunities. I respect the Browns, but the more than anything that I am, I'm a fan of the Cleveland Browns. That's it. I'm no different than anybody out there. I'm a fan of the Cleveland Browns. That is why I need them to make these moves. There are some things that I ask them to set aside, most notably the Nick Chubb thing. And I've said over and over, that is a fan thing that I want them to do. For you, for me, for the fan base out there, Nick Chubb is beloved here. But I'll tell you, that's the one thing that I want them to do. Other than that, I want them to make the moves that I see fit or they see fit. I trust them. It's a great question, Ryan. Do you trust Andrew Berry to do his job? Some people would say, oh, look at this miss here, look at that. But the trust means not every move is going to align with what I think. Not every draft pick is a guy that I'm sitting there clamoring for, but it's worked out. This is one that I trust that they made the right moves. Does it sting today? Sure. But also, the fear that the fans have with Joe Flacco leaving. Like, if any other team, and I'm trying to like keep this on the rails, and I'm trying to be respectful to people out there. Other elite teams that let a 38-year-old backup quarterback leave, this isn't even a conversation. It's not even a blip on the radar for almost any other elite team. If we want to start holding ourselves in that regard, then we need to let this go. This needs to be just a blip on the radar. And I understand that what Flacco meant to the team, what he did. But again, anyone else in this situation of a top-level team, this isn't even a thing. This isn't even of course, like, it would just be so, what's the word I'm looking for, Ryan? It would be just so obvious that this is what they were going to do. Nobody would be making a big issue about it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand why we do it. If this was any other team, this wouldn't be a problem. And I think the real big problem is it comes back to Deshaun Watson. You don't have a guy. Here's the thing. People don't have a guy that they can put their faith into. You put it into Joe Flacco, and now he's not here. That is your issue. The core issue for most people right now, the guy that you put all your faith and belief in is now gone. And you don't like it. You don't, that's the issue that you have. The guy that you thought might be it, or at least showed you something, isn't, and you have a problem with that. I'm telling you, you got to overcome that. You're going to have to recalibrate, you're going to have to reshift, you're going to have to push your thought process over into what we really need to be thinking about. And that's Deshaun Watson and what they're going to do with this team and what he's going to be this year. I want to give people their time a little bit here, Ryan. They need to get over it. By the end of the week, I need you to get over it.
At the end of today.
And that's the thing. Our poll question tells me that most people have gotten over it. But you still need people to get, like, I'm just going to give a little bit of time here. A little bit of time for people to get over this. For the small group that still has an issue with it. And I don't think, will they ever, like...
It's just people that like to complain is what it is.
No, I know, and that's what we know in this town, right? Is that not what we know in this town is just people complain, And what else are you going to do? That's all we know. But I just think it's funny that a lot of people want to make this something that it might not really be.
I mean, to be fair, I've only seen like one real media person complain about it. And that's
I've
really
seen
it.
a couple.
I've only seen one.
I've seen a couple. And the thing is, the media, because they believe that Flacco was a good security blanket, or if they wanted to believe that. The thing that I think might have some people up in arms, and including some in the media, is this whole thing about Watson calling the shot here. And if he doesn't want that distraction, if that was truly something that they had a conversation about, and he said, I don't want Flacco here because it's going to be a distraction, the Browns did the right thing. You have no choice but to put your eggs all in the basket of Deshaun Watson. If that's what he wants, it's what he gets. And I don't want it to be a Russ Wilson situation where he's got his own office, he's got his own trainer, but you still need to take his input on some stuff. And at the end of the day, is Joe Flacco really that different from Jameis Winston? Is he? Jameis Winston's a little bit younger. He's actually started, I don't want to say as many games, Joe Flacco, that's not true, but what I'm saying is he's a guy that has started. He's been a guy. You could go get some low level. I would tell you this. Is Jameis Winston not a high level backup?
Yeah, he is.
He is. So there you go. And you got him. And you got him on a 2-year deal. What is it? Dude.
They're paying him $4 million. That's dirt.
That's nothing, too. You're right. What if Jameis Winston's your starting quarterback week 1 of 2025? What a world that would be. We'd have a lot of other bigger problems, but
I'm not here for that right now.
I don't want that either. I really do not want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. But they did sign him to a 2-year deal. They did.
They?
Yeah, 2-year deal. Now, I'm sure that's voidable money to spread the money around. Yeah, now you got me rethinking. Yeah, Jameis signed a 2-year deal, right?
No.
Oh, wait.
You're tripping.
Why did somebody said 2?
That's what I thought. It's a 1 year.
It is a 1-year deal.
Base
Take all
value
that back.
4, max value, obviously, with the incentives, 8.7.
Okay, never mind. So it's a 1-year deal.
Let's
Sorry.
hope he can't even hit those incentives, so let's just hope it's 4
Well, it's
million.
probably playtime incentives, too. You would hope that he doesn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Like, you want Watson to be able to play. And then you don't have to worry about it.
$2.79 million signing bonus.
Again, I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah, it's really cheap.
Any interested in Hunter Renfrow? He's gone. He's out of the Raiders. Depth guy.
I don't know.
Nothing.
No, not really. I don't think we have a need for him right now.
No, nothing. That's just really. It's kind of slowed down. It's funny that everything's kind of slowed down today.
Now, Lad McConkey? Oh,
I know
sign
you
me
and your
up.
lad McConkey love here.
Dude, he's so good at football.
I'm just saying. All right, let's do this. We come back. We got time hop. I got a retirement, a famous one, and then a famous unretirement. So we'll get to all that coming up. One movie for Ryan today as well. So jump into time hop. We'll get you our Tipico boost. More to come. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. You know what I'm doing right now? I'm going
What
back
is
to
that?
time hop for yesterday and typing in the Browns signed Jameis Winston this day 2024.
There you go.
Just to keep the running total. That's how we do it here on Time Hop. Welcome back. Matt Fontana Show right here on Big Play. Follow us Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, up on Twitch, everywhere that you need us at Matt Fontana Show. We tell you what happened this day, the 13th of March, the date. 1 year ago today, Browns free agency. They signed Oba Okoronkwo. I thought it was a solid addition, nice rotational piece. And they re-signed Ethan Posick to be their starting center of the future moving forward. Also 1 year ago today, the Raiders signed Jimmy Garoppolo. Probably a miss.
Yeah, I'd say
Dude,
so.
I tweeted this out because a report came out 1 year ago today that David Tepper of the Panthers loved Bryce Young. Frank Reich loved C.J. Stroud. Where are we today? Frank Reich out of a job, C.J. Stroud the offensive rookie of the year, and Bryce Young can't see over his offensive line.
Come on.
I do think, listen, and I hate that I crap on Bryce Young the way that I do, because I really shouldn't. I'm sure he's a fine young man, and I'm sure he has I hope he has a great career, whatever. Here's the point. I think that is something that all new NFL owners got to learn. Stay out of that room. Now, Jerry Jones is in the room because he's always been in the room. But I think that's something that every new owner realizes. And I'm telling you, the Haslams realized that. And applaud them for doing that. They made some mistakes. They paid for them. And now, for the most part, it seems like they stay out of the way. That's the way that it should go. Some big things like that, well, I don't know. I don't understand. Like, I try to put myself in the picture of if I had $1 billion and I owned an NFL franchise. And there was a quarterback that I really liked. I would still trust the people that I hired. Because, let me put it this way. If I owned a team and there's two quarterbacks, and I loved quarterback A, but my team, my general manager loved quarterback B. Owners would probably say, well, I would rather see my team win with quarterback A, and it'd be more fun for me. But isn't the ultimate goal to win? Would you not have fun watching quarterback B lead your team? The meddling part of owners, which is tough because they have billions of dollars. I get it, but stay out of there. Stay out of there. That also happened 1 year ago today. This day, 2022, Tom Brady ended his retirement and rejoined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know how long that retirement lasted?
How long?
40 days. He was retired for 40 days. He should have just walked it off after the Super Bowl. Now, they made the playoffs that year.
Yeah.
Didn't they lose in the first round?
They lost to the Rams.
Yeah. So should have just walked it off after the Super Bowl, but here we are today. I remember this day, Ryan. 2019, 5 years ago today. I had gotten done with my shift over there at K&R. And at that time, I was getting home, I think around, I think I was doing ECT. So I was getting home about 7 o'clock. And obviously, this is way before kids for my wife and I. And I got home, and we'd always have dinner. And we were sitting down to eat dinner. We were having tacos. Because I got 2 bites into my taco. My phone blows up. I look at my wife, and I go, I got to go. I got to go back to work. Because the Browns traded for Odell Beckham this day, 2019. We were on the air till midnight, freaking out over Odell Beckham. At the time, dude, it was the biggest. It was
I
massive.
remember it.
And
Yeah.
there's only a couple of times in my career where I drop something and I go into work for it, and that was one. Again, I was at home. I think Aaron and Emmett met me back at the studio, and we did a show like basically all night about them trading for Odell 5 years ago. It seems longer. Does it not seem like that was 10 years ago? But it's just 5 years ago today the Browns traded for Odell Beckham. This day, 2018, reports that the Bills were going to trade into the top 5 for a quarterback. The Browns had number 1, and I then sent the tweet that I said, you got to take a quarterback at 1. I thought Darnold. Baker was like 4th on my list. Seriously. I wanted Darnold, Josh Allen.
I wanted Josh.
Josh Rosen, and then Baker.
Yeah, I wasn't really vibing with Bake.
No, I wasn't either. And boy, was Dorsey having a different idea there. This day, 2012, a sad day that Encyclopedia Britannica announced the end of its printed version. It's still online, and it is the longest, continually, and oldest in English encyclopedia, Encyclopedia Britannica.
Think about that a lot?
What do you mean?
The ending of it, you said a sad day.
Well, sad day. And you did the printed book. Like, you'd go to the library. No one goes to the library anymore. And you just have the whole, volume 1, volume 2. Like, you'd have all these things. I think it was Encyclopedia Britannica. There was a game that you would play on it. Do you remember? It was like a medieval game. You would go through dungeons and stuff. You had to answer questions.
No, brother.
Hey, oh, my God.
Different age.
Stop that. Hang on. Good luck. Encyclopedia Britannica. Encarta Mind Maze. That's what it was. Encarta Mind Maze. That's it.
Never heard of her.
Released in 1993. Mind Maze is what it was called. So maybe it had nothing to do with Encyclopedia Britannica. Dude, I can play this online right now. I can play this on an emulator. Yeah, Mind Maze in Microsoft Encarta 95. What a game that was. Oh, man. Taking me back to a time. Graphics were 16-bit. It was terrible. Awesome. I love it. It was all great and terrible at the same time. This day, 2011, Ohio State won the Big Ten tournament. How long till they do that again?
For basketball?
Men's basketball, yeah.
God,
It's going to be a little while. This day, 2009, LeBron scored 51. Cavs beat the Kings 126-123. That clinched the Cavs' first Central Division title since 1976. And it also ended LeBron's streak of he was going for 4 straight triple-doubles. I mean, I know Jokic gets them all the time now and all that, but almost four straight.
I mean, back then.
Triple-double, that's pretty good. A big retirement this day, 2000. Dan Marino announced his retirement. He unfortunately has that as probably the best player to never go to a Super Bowl. Not just not win one, but never. Oh, no, did he go to one? He went to one and lost.
I don't know.
I think, but never won.
He never had one.
Yeah, never had one. This day, 1992, LA Lakers play-by-play man Chick Hearn called his 25th 100 straight game. He had a streak that started in November of 1965, 3,338 straight games into 2001 as the play-by-play man for the Lakers. This day, 1960, the Chicago Cardinals moved to the St. Louis area, but that was in the NFL, not baseball. That was the Chicago Cardinals of the NFL moved to St. Louis, became the Cardinals there, and of course, they would then go to Arizona after that. This day, 1781, William Herschel discovered the planet Uranus. Good planet. Great to be had.
I suppose.
Very happy birthday goes out to Cliff Robinson, former Cavs forward, former Browns quarterback Trent Dilfer, Mike Aviles, Indians infielder, Sandy Leone, Susan B. Anthony, Common, William H. Macy, Michaela Schifrin, the skier, Dave Draymond of Disturbed, and we'll be having him back very soon for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tristan Thompson celebrating a birthday today. Very happy birthday to him. All right, just one movie for you today. Came out this day, 1992. My first hint, I don't know if you'll get this or not, but this was the big screen debut of an actress that would actually win the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in basically her debut film in this movie. Nothing there?
I mean, yeah, nah.
Okay.
There's no way I'm get it based on
She
that.
is well known, well, in the Marvel Universe now. She plays a relative of Spider-Man.
A relative of Spider-Man. Oh, are you talking about his aunt?
Yeah.
What's her
Marissa
name?
Tomei.
Yeah.
So you're not probably going to be able to get the movie.
That's like the new Aunt May, right? Or,
What do you mean?
like, she's Tom Holland's Spider-Man's Aunt May.
Yeah. That is Marissa Tomei. That is the person that I'm talking about.
I obviously
So
know.
she had her debut in this, basically big screen debut in this movie that came out in 1992, and she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress.
I don't really know a movie.
Joe Pesci, lawyer movie with Fred Gwynn, who played Herman Munster. He was the judge. Have you heard of My Cousin Vinny?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, My Cousin Vinny, this day,
Okay.
1992.
I
Great
wouldn't have got
movie.
it.
Great
I wouldn't have got
movie. I love that movie. He comes up to save his, or goes down actually to the south to go save his cousins. He's a lawyer. He tries to finagle it and eventually gets the win.
What did Marissa Tomei look like when she was young? She still is. That's why I'm like...
Hot. Very hot. Yeah. No, I'm 100% she still is. But, yeah, very much so. Congratulations to Marissa Tomei. Did you see this coming out today? Apparently, they're discussing this right now. They're going to try to ban TikTok.
I'm all for it.
I'm not on TikTok, so I don't really care. So apparently, they're meeting right now. I'm trying to hang on. Let me see if I can find it. The article, because it literally just came across like there's a live stream of the House vote that could ban TikTok. I'm clicking on CNN here to see a little bit of news about this.
I am all for it because all it is.
I mean, I don't really care because I don't.
All it is though
use it.
Is.
Can I ask why? Like I know why. They think they're infiltrating things from China, right? Is that not what it is?
That's what they say, but that's not even why I would like to see
Why do you want it banned then?
Because all it is just it's instant abundance of just filth that are getting delivered to kids.
I've seen other things
it's all
you
just
are corrupting some of these kids. I get that.
It's just ruining body images. It's giving people unrealistic it's giving people unrealistic expectations.
But Instagram does that. Twitter does that.
I agree, but I don't know. TikTok's
a sickness. I mean, social media is a sickness in general. It's all just
girls shaking their ass, getting rich, and it makes guys have unrealistic expectations of girls that they can get because they think there's no.
The House passed a bill today.
It's such a bad app.
Could ban the video-based social media app TikTok, but the legislation's fate is less than clear in the Senate when there is no companion bill. A bill needs to pass both the House and the Senate, which would be then sent to the president to sign into law. I'm trying to find out exactly what they think. Some background on attempts to limit TikTok. Last year, the Senate proposed a legislation clamping down on TikTok, but triggered some concerns, giving that to be too much power. Efforts to ban TikTok date back to President Trump's administration, when a series of executives tried to force app stores to not offer TikTok, and to compel a spinoff company. Because again, you talk about if they have money in that spinoff company, that's where politics get dirty. Efforts stalled amid legal challenges. The talks are ongoing. This from CNN. Does TikTok really pose a national security threat? Lawmakers who support the bill today say China's intelligence laws could allow it to force TikTok and its parent company to hand over user data. This data could allegedly be used by China for identifying intelligence targets or engaging in disinformation campaigns. A Republican representative, Dan Crenshaw. TikTok is owned by ByteDance. ByteDance is in China. When you're in China, you have to do whatever Chinese Communist Party leaders say you have to do, according to national intelligence law. That's how it works. So they're talking more about cybersecurity. They're not talking about body image issues or corrupting kids, which I get. I understand. So then, okay, here's a crazy idea. Why don't we just launch a U.S.-based TikTok? Why don't you just launch one that's here?
Why don't we just get rid of social media? It's ruined everything good in this world.
I mean, we're on social media.
I understand
we could just stream on YouTube. That's fine.
I'm grateful for it.
Dude, I swear to God.
I think it's a cause of so many issues in this world.
I swear to God, I'm so nervous about my kids. My kids will be 3 and 1 this year.
I'm not letting them have
I don't want them to have, but dude, everybody's got a phone now. Everybody's got this stuff. And the thing is, granted, it is much safer now. Like when they get a phone, it's going to have parental controls on until they're 18. Or until you want to buy your own phone? Fine. But up until that day, I will have parental controls on that, and you're not going to be messaging people. That's my fear, is that, again, there's predators. There's predators out there on TikTok getting people and getting kids. That's my fear on this thing. If they want to shut it down because they think they're giving information to China.
The problem is I can go on Instagram or Twitter or you name it, whatever app you want, and I'm just sitting there,
I get it.
And then all of a sudden across my face, I just see people dying.
So more than half of states...
Everybody's becoming so desensitized.
They've banned TikTok on government devices. There's only one state that has banned TikTok on all devices, Montana.
Good for them.
Yeah. Ohio is banned on all government agencies. By state agencies. TikTok and other apps by state agencies. And that's the thing. There are people out there now that are coming out saying, I'm a content creator and I have this many followers and I make money off of this and this is what I do and whatever. I guess I'm a bad person to talk about this because I don't have TikTok. I don't really get the novelty up. Now, I spend time on, if they came to me like, we want to ban Instagram, probably for the best. I spend too much time on Instagram. But I'm watching like the live updates on this. I guess it's happening like in the moment. 2 minutes ago, it passed. House passes the bill that could ban TikTok in the United States 2 minutes ago. House lawmakers have passed a bill that could ban TikTok for users in the United States. The vote was 352 to 65. 15 Republicans and 50 Democrats were the ones that were in opposition.
I'm all for it, man.
The bill will prohibit TikTok from the U.S. app stores unless the social media platform, used by roughly 170 million Americans, is spun off. So here's what they want. They're not trying to ban TikTok. They don't really care. They just want it to be in a United States-owned capacity.
Yeah.
Like if somebody, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why you don't just launch something else. But the thing is, TikTok is a brand. Everybody's on. Like, it's the same thing with Threads. Remember when everybody said, well, we're going to jump to Threads. Screw Elon and Twitter. How'd that work?
No, I said a month, if that.
If that. I think I signed up just to make sure I could get my user handle if I really needed to move over. Everybody's still on Twitter. I'll tell you this, man. TikTok's not going anywhere.
I know.
They could try to ban it. Is that un-American to ban that?
I mean,
is that un-American? I want to use this app. I'm not hurting anybody. You shouldn't be able to ban that. Screw it.
It's like everything. You have to weigh the consequences and whatnot. Because I'm telling you, but it has infinitely more consequences.
But let me ask you this: if I was on TikTok and the Chinese government got my information, what are they going to do with that? I'm not some security threat. I don't know anything about the military or what's going on. They could steal money out of my account. It's already happened. And it happened by somebody in the United States, by the way.
It's not my stance on banning him. You know mine. It's just
you just think it's stupid.
Because I think it's caused millions and millions and millions of kids, like an unfathomable amount of kids who grow up. They develop anxiety, body image, body dysmorphia from it. They think every girl is a 10 because all they see on it is girls shaking their ass.
I know.
It makes talentless.
It's sad.
It gives talentless people a platform to make millions of dollars for no reason while people struggle working 9 to 5s. And it makes no. It's a horrible app. Like, yeah, it's funny. There's some funny videos. There's appropriate content that's on there, but most of it is just smut garbage.
Dude, can I tell you about? Okay, so my closest example for this is Instagram. Because I have Instagram. The only 3 social medias that I do. Do you count Snapchat as social media?
Yeah.
I don't post anything. Oh, the only thing is I send snaps to my brothers, to my friends, to my frankly a lot to my. They're just my kids. More often than not, it's something funny my kids do. They tackle the dog, whatever. But so I have Snapchat. I have Facebook, but I rarely use it. And then Twitter and Instagram, which I probably spend the most amount of time on Instagram now. And I will tell you this, dude. Like, I could open IG, right? And what is a lot of even my search, like this is my, just when you search, and it's a lot of wrestling right now because the wrestling tournaments are going on. I'm really kind of into blackjack right now. So there's a lot of blackjack. And then it's like funny, like I have a Dumb and Dumber thing. I've got hockey. I've got, whatever, somebody on a roulette table, all that kind of stuff. Sure, I get it. Okay. The thing is, a lot of what I get now are kid and dad and parent accounts. Bro, I see a new one every day. It's not even the same one. And sometimes I click on them and I go, I've never even heard of this person. They have 500,000 followers.
Yeah, dude.
And I go, what? And think about, again, there's got to be 50 of them. And then everything that you do, there's 50 accounts for MMA. There's 50 accounts for, if you like cars, there's 50 accounts. And then, again, you get to all the models and all that adult content. I know it's not on Instagram, but like all that. And there's just so many. And I think about this. Are they really all making enough money? Here's what I'm, and again, this might just be because I'm not hip and not up with it and all that kind of stuff. Is that bubble not going to burst one day?
I hope it bursts.
Is it not going to burst one day with these people that even if they have 500,000 followers and they're making all this money off of Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or whatever the case may be, in a couple of years, are they really still going to be in the content creation business?
Well, what's disgusting about it is that there's adults that are taking advantage of it, like grown-ass people.
That's my point.
That's disgusting.
They're sitting there. You know what gets me is like
People, no, what's
they're
disgusting
profiting
is,
off their kids.
That's what I was gonna say. What's disgusting is
like,
people using their kids as a platform for them to grow pot. Like that shit is sickening to me. They need to be put down.
They're on there. They're doing dance.
They need to be put down. They need to be put down.
I'm trying. I'm right there with you.
Listen, if I have to be a sacrifice, if I have to be one of the people that gets snapped away from Thanos, I'm 100% willing. I'm being so serious to make this a better place.
Right. That is what I think is a negative part of TikTok. Now, there are, I'll tell you this. Again, what is the, there's accounts that help. You know, we're trying to get our daughter to sleep, you know, more soundly through the night. There are accounts that I follow that go, try this technique or this. So there is some of that. And then again, I go in the search thing and here's somebody dancing with their kid or putting their kids on display or, you know, whatever. Like,
dude, there was a video.
It's crazy.
There was a video. She accidentally posted this. She meant to edit it out, but it was a video of her teaching her son how to cry. He's like, "You're not crying enough," because she wanted to post a video of like them, like they put their dog down. She's like, "You're not crying enough. No, do this, do that." Like, you are a disgusting human piece of garbage.
The other part in these videos, this was one that I saw because again, there's 1,000 accounts with millions of followers of these self-help people, or. You know, and one of the ones it always stuck with me was you scroll through social media. I think this is exactly what you're getting to. You scroll through social media and you see this mom and, you know, she's in a bikini and she's all that and she's with her kids and they're at the pool and she posts a 30-second clip of her playing with her kids in the pool. And in your head, you're like, I'm a piece of crap over here. What am I doing? And the whole point of the video was 30 seconds after that, she pawns the kids off on somebody else or says, "Get away from me." And she lays there and starts
throws her OnlyFans.
But you think in your head it devalues, and that is a negative part of social media that I hate. You're right. It's the same thing. You see a chick that's got or a guy that's got a bunch of filters on, roided out his ass, and you're sitting there going, "I'll never be that. I can never be that. I can never do that."
Yeah, the steroids is crazy.
It's nuts. That Liver King asshole.
That's what I'm saying.
That guy.
Yeah.
How did he not get sued?
Dude.
How did it's selling these products, telling people he took never stare, and then he sits there and he goes, "That was a lie." $12,000 a month worth of human growth hormone, and he's selling the 12 steps. Get out of here. It's so bad. And I do think that we're a little different because, like, we sit here and talk sports all day. You know what I mean? Like, we appreciate everybody that joins us. We have fun. You know, we BS. It's just another avenue. Like, I really view this as a sports show, and this is just our outlet to do it. There's radio, there's TV, and now there's social, there's digital. You know, we post our clips. Can I say this too? Like, it doesn't really matter. I'll put it. Ryan and I's salary is not tied to social media. There are people out there that like, oh, you get paid. Not really, no. We get paid from Big Play. Now, the views, I don't know if the company makes, you know, we sell advertising. We love Garage Beer. We love Tipico. We love our great partners here. But, you know, we don't pull checks from social media. I don't even have that thing on. It asks me all the time if I want to monetize my Twitter. No, I don't. No, I don't. And that's just even like if I even put like an ad on my feed or something, let alone that super subscribe thing. My social media is a C+ as it goes. I ain't going to charge you for that, all right? That ain't worth it. I wouldn't pay for myself on social media, to be honest with you. So why would I charge other people to do it? So there we go. It's officially banned. Or at least, again, they passed the bill.
God,
it's not going to happen,
I hope
Ryan.
it does.
Or at least at very much, they should just come up with something else. If their big issue is finding an American version of it, then do that.
Just stop letting people push their body. Like, it's so like annoying.
That's the other thing about, like, dude, I cannot. You want to know what? I'm just gonna open my notifications right now, and I'm scrolling right now. Pornbot, 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 Pornbot. Another one. 2 on the same account.
I'm telling you, no, there's
2 on the same account.
There's going to be a whole generation of
on the same like.
There's going to be a whole generation of teenagers with erectile dysfunction. I'm being so dead. Like,
they're just
serious.
like it's just, and this is the thing. These are all fake. Who with half a brain
but you
doesn't
can't
click on these and go, "This person is fake"?
But that's probably because you can't. They're profiting off of kids' ignorance.
I guess you're right. Here's a hot chick with her butt hanging out. She has one post. Again, this bot account with one post. with a link to hotsweetgirl.com. Better click on that. She likes me, Ryan. She liked one of my tweets. I'm leaving my wife
If
for her.
I was 12,
Out of here. Bye.
I was 12.
See you later.
If I was 12, I
guess you're right. That's
I'd click that
okay,
shit
so
and run
then
to my
can
room.
I put this on here to say I am not some horned up 12-year-old. I'm a 34-year-old married dad. Get it off. I don't want it. Can I just put that on here? I'm not clicking on your account.
No, 'cause
I'm
that's
not
not
doing
how
it.
bots
It's just, why is this still a thing? Well, and Elon said he was going to clean all this crap up. What happened to that? Banning TikTok, man. That's where we're at.
I don't know, man.
You want to post our bracket?
I hate it.
It's not great. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
it's
we
not
can,
good.
We can go to our
All right, here we go. Bracket of the week. Best Southside bar. Here it is, all four. Ryan, they're all going to go today, right? We're going to send those all out at Matt Fontana Show. Take a look. Send the tweets out. I'll retweet them. We'll get that at the show page at Matt Fontana Show. Appreciate it. We'll see how the votes kind of tally up for tomorrow for the finals. We'll get our Cavs boost a little bit later. There's behind the scene. They got to make sure guys are playing all that kind of stuff. So we have our boost. Cavs points. Jared Allen, Karis LeVert. Those are the three legs that I submitted. I think they're going to be able to put it up, but just follow us at Matt Fontana Show for the boost. Appreciate all the support. Bonus time with Drennan tonight. We'll be back 9 to 11, same time tomorrow. Maybe TikTok will be banned. Maybe it won't be. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana, as always.